Call this meeting to order. Welcome, everybody. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. For the agenda, I just have one addition under new business. We need to, our highway department gets stuck working on holidays a lot. We need to discuss their compensation for that. That'll be after the highway truck quote. Okay, do any people want to speak? It's open public comment for items not on the agenda. Well, you're all rushing, I can tell. Okay, you're on, Shelley.
I'm on. Oh, okay. The wheelchair contractor came out yesterday to measure the space for the new replacement, and the ADA codes have changed, and additional work will need to be completed in concert with the replacement. We need to have a switch, a shut-off switch. I've got an email out to J. King Electric to give us an idea what that would be. And I'll have some more concrete figures on also replacing the stair rail as it's not compliant. And we're gonna also need to anchor the tower to the wall, so that's gonna be a little bit of a project. Not super expensive, but it's gonna be more than anticipated.
The tower for the.
That abuts the wall.
Okay.
So I'll have some figures at the next meeting on that. The Vernon Town Clerk's office will be closed on Tuesday, December 24th. The office will be closed Tuesday, December 31st at noon. So it'll be only open half day, and that's all I have.
Okay. Warrant? Sorry, minute approval. We'll have to table the 19th again.
Yeah.
December 10th. What is your pleasure?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
I move that we approve the minutes of the Tuesday, December 10th regular select board meeting as written.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor, Jim?
Aye.
Jim? I'm an aye. Motion carries. Warrant.
I move that we approve payment of the following warrant: 12T accounts payable, $50,624.23. 49S payroll, $11,309.56. 50S payroll, $10,889.48.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. David?
You guys have a copy of the bid? And this is off the state bid,
Okay.
so that's why.
I was getting impressed with your typing.
Total bid price was $270,275, and that's with the trade.
With what?
With the trade,
With the trade.
yep.
And then, what was the rest of plow mounts and stuff?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, well, the cabin chassis is 164, 131, and the plow and all that's 118.
Oh, it's on here. Oh, okay.
It's all right in there, that's the
Yep.
total bid for everything.
Okay. I just saw the separate paper, so.
And only one company bid?
Yep.
Okay.
I can bring this up too, I'll have to talk with Shelley. They do have a program, but it'd be up to you guys. Trade them in every 7 years, and right now they're saying you can get $100,000 for your old trade. But it's gotta be for the same truck. You're just dealing with that one company. It's something to think about in the future.
For sure.
Wow.
Yeah,
What's the lifetime of one of those trucks? In years?
we've been doing it about 12, it varies depending on
conditions and, yeah.
Yep.
So that is for the, which truck? 2010?
No, 13.
The 13, that's what I thought originally. So that's almost the 10-year plan.
So,
So do we have capital?
You do it every 7 years?
20, oh, 100,000,
100,000.
right around there.
Okay.
So,
And you're looking at like a year and a half out.
okay, so, because the capital plan falls a little shy right now.
Yep.
So just put another, we need to put another hit into that, okay.
Board, what is your pleasure?
I think it's a good idea. All right, can we do it without knowing how much we have to add to the capital plan?
No, that's a whole different boat.
That's what I thought.
Right, right?
That was by the town
Okay,
Shelley will give us a number.
I'll make a motion that we, purchase this truck from ATG of Westminster for $270,275.
Second.
anyway. Any further discussion? Or any discussion from the audience, anybody? Okay, all those in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
I'm an aye, the motion carries. Thanks for your work on this. Okay,
So you lock this in by ordering this now, right?
Yeah.
that's
It'll
good.
be- I'll make a phone call tomorrow and then we'll get started. And the other thing is because we work Thanksgiving and
Mhm.
by the handbook, we're supposed to take that time off within 30 days or before the end of the year. This is a wrong time of year. We can do it, but,
I'd rather you did.
so I was just wondering if we can carry those hours over until,
A quieter time,
yeah,
maybe?
if that's all right with you guys.
Could sometime, we need to make a motion to do that, so.
So that's like comp time really though, right? Does that
Right.
go as comp time when you accumulate that?
The hours we work during our normal time, we have to take off
Right.
those hours.
Right. Correct me if I say this wrong.
Uh-oh.
I move that we allow the highway department to carry over their comp time from working holidays until next year.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Jim?
Aye.
Jean?
Aye.
I'm an aye. Thank you for your hard work.
No problem.
Thank you.
A lot of salting.
Okay, wildlife corridors.
Oh boy. So there are a lot of moving parts to this, and select board member Jim Pinkerton is aware of much of it. I reached out to Patty Smith, who is the first recommendation. She's the one who completed the wildlife corridor over in Guilford. Unfortunately, she did it was a beautiful study. It's on their website. Unfortunately, she does not have the time to work with us. But she said that the second person on my list, who is also recommended, Dan Doobie, is a wonderful person to work with. And she would work as much as she could with him in terms of updating him on what her findings were, especially along where Guilford lines up with Vernon. So that's one collaboration that could occur for this. The other collaboration is that Dan works closely with Jeff Nugent, and also he can work with Wyndham Regional. Wyndham Regional is currently engaged in doing a wildlife corridor. Looking into that, we have an offer from Wyndham County to do the computer portion of this. So there are a lot of people who really are invested in seeing that this happens. Currently, are 4 states in the Connecticut River Valley who are seeking additional lands and upgrades to help me out, Mr. Pinkerton. to a refuge. A refuge that's four states long. Within their report, they had said that for every government dollar that goes into a refuge or like things, you get over $4 back in your economy. That was just a number that was thrown out in the letter that was signed by our senators and House of Representatives and things. So those are some things that it's like, well, we can catch a little bit of a break on. Speaking with Dan Doobie, he said that he's of North Woods Connections, that's his business. He said he could complete for $8,000 the groundwork and do 7 to 8 promising pathways. And he gave us a field analysis that he did in Warren that he said it would be very similar to what he had done in Warren. And really the reason we would have this done is because we would be able to know what is of importance, what's currently being used by our wildlife to move. And he could investigate the quality of habitat that is in that area. This is important because as we try and build climate resiliency, and wildlife is coming up through New England, there's kind of a bottleneck area here, and we want to make sure that we don't sort of impede this migration that has already started to happen north to south, which is the most important routes right now to conserve. However, when you look at the map and it shows Guilford, Guilford has theirs mapped out. Vernon comes up and could potentially connect to Guilford, and then the wildlife eventually go up towards the Green Mountains. So we are in possession of a river that Guilford is not, that might be of value for the wildlife coming up through that way. So it's not all mapped out yet. It's very much evolving, but the importance is there to do this. In addition to that, we were told at our hazard mitigation meeting that if we did this work where wildlife crosses roadways, we would sweeten the deal for any grants we would apply for culverts of the such, or road work where these animals cross. So that's what I have. Are there any questions? Sorry for my nervousness. He charges $60 an hour.
Are you asking us to approve the 8,000?
I'm asking if you would find a way to do that. That is the 1-year project. There are, 4-year projects, 5-year projects, but this would be a really great start for our town to look at this, just to make sure that we don't say, hey, yeah, sure, put that whatever here, and not realizing what the impacts would be on the wildlife currently using it.
Board?
I got one on that. Wyndham Regional, I was talking to the senior planner at Wyndham Regional today, and Wyndham Regional would really like to get involved in mapping wildlife corridors, areas between forest habitats. And they haven't done that in the past, but they got an excellent mapper and forester, and they got people that are skilled in doing maps. They've done them for our town plan and the hazard mitigation plan. So they're really good at that. They are not ready to do that right now, but they anticipate the first of month or so of next year, February at the latest, that they'll be wanting to get in that. And the part that really interested me was they said they want to use Vernon as an example because we have some very unique characteristics here in Vernon with our black gum swamp and a pretty interesting vernal pool over on the Pond Road. And they want to use the maps and stuff that they make for us to illustrate to other people that they're really good at doing that. So that one thing, they're going to give us a good price on it because of that. And two, they're really going to put a lot of effort into it so that they can develop that as one of their skills. The thing is, they weren't ready to give a quote on that. And they want to have a meeting in January. They want to meet with our Conservation Commission and, February. And from that meeting, they want to generate a quote. So I think that pushing this off into next year would be a good idea.
I disagree.
Oh,
And I'm gonna say why, because Margot G has already made us an offer,
mhm,
from Wyndham County. Margot has already made us an offer to work with us on this.
okay.
And so, I'm sorry, go ahead. My apologies.
Well, I was not sure Jim was finished saying what he was saying.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. That, my recommendation is, it might be an example of a shiny object out there that I'm interested in, as opposed to one that's more solid right now. Granted, the quote is solid. I did some research on the forester, and the guy that wants to do that has got a very good reputation. He hasn't done any maps. The quality of the one that's done for Guilford, Guilford's map is impressive. Their entire plan is really, really impressive. And I understand that he's more in the identify these areas, map them out, as opposed to putting together a whole structure.
Mhm.
And he's going to use what's your name to help with that. Where I think Wyndham would give us the package. I think they're going to use this guy with Wyndham, and I think Wyndham is also going to bring some very skillful mapping people and wildlife people to the table. So that's my idea.
It's not necessarily, I'm not seeing an exclusion to what you're saying in what I'm saying. If Wyndham County were to provide a basic map to, or if we contract with a specific person, this ecologist, he can go this year and set up cameras and start tracking the wildlife coming through. He says it's preferable to do it in the winter time. And my concern is that we're gonna come up on the town plan and not be able to use this information for the town plan if we have to wait too far in the distance. That was my only concern. I'm not saying what you're saying sounds wonderful, but I'm just wondering about the timing with the town plan.
Shelley?
The town plan isn't due to be reconfigured until 2026.
Oh, I thought
That's when
it
the
was-
process will begin.
All right, it's gonna take this guy at least a year of legwork.
And the town plan is gonna be a process, because it's gonna be covering a lot
So
of
it's not
things.
gonna, the plan's not gonna be done and at that time, it's gonna begin in that time?
I don't think so. I don't
Be
think
done in that time. And the thing is, we can reference that in the town plan. We can leave a catch in the town plan
like
that says, we're in work on this, and it'll be added when it's completed.
Okay.
So that's not a blocker to that.
I do have a meeting scheduled already with Margot in February with and also a working meeting that we are planning on having. So I don't see any reason why all of us couldn't sit down or.
I'll attend it. Margot said she was gonna bring a couple people from Wyndham too. And the thing that she really wanted to target was what we're expecting.
Right.
Okay? And so if you can have some of your conservation people, I'll
Right.
bring some of my planning people and we'll meet with her. And,
Terrific. Yeah.
and then we can bring it back to the board a little more solid. And, we might wind up going with your guy if Wyndham doesn't meet our needs.
Mm-hmm.
But
But what
I
about
think
the
it's got good
financial
potential.
piece? The financial piece, what are we gonna do about that? That's the other shoe.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong on that, I think it's something that we'd want to get on Conservation Commission's budget or on Select Board budget as a line item.
Okay, we don't have a budget at the Conservation Commission.
Okay, then ours,
We still do have some ARPA funds.
not as many as you think we have.
I know.
Totally
And the ARPA
understand.
funds have to be committed prior to
The first
calendar
This
year.
is counted as a,
Um, And I was
582.
I was thinking about our ARPA funds. I don't want to go into that
Okay.
while we're doing this, but I got some ideas along those lines. Of what good stuff we can do and make that funds available into next year.
Okay. So what is your desire on the conservation's request?
Well, if I read it right, you're asking for funding right now for
We're
that.
asking for $8,000
Yep.
so that Dan Doobie can look at our major forest blocks, which he says we have a good chunk of forest blocks, and looking at connecting, providing seeing what corridor connections already exist with those. And he could do 7 to 8 corridor investigations.
Jean?
I feel like your plan is more appropriate. It just feels like there's two things going on here that are, and
Well-
instead of making a really quick decision, you have a lot of things that are already gonna be happening
Mhm.
that offer an alternative, and like you said, it may end up going the same route, but
Yep.
I think that it needs to be explored in that direction too.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for all your work on this.
So, I mean,
A lot
we
of work.
It is.
don't have to say, yes, we're giving you $8,000, but we have to make a plan for how the rest of our opera money may get spent.
That's something.
Which,
It's not my concern where the money comes from, I just would like to have some money in order to complete this project.
and I think we need to take the time to look at all the moving parts that are available to us. I think that's important, because it's a good chunk of money.
I did send to Shelley, Wyndham, County's offer, so you have that offer, and forward, an example of what Dan will do in terms of what he did in Warrant, so you'll know what that is.
Linda, did you want to say something?
I wanted to ask, is there any way that the board could approve at least 7,000 or 8,000 that she's looking for to put in your budget that's earmarked for this work? Regardless of who does it, we're gonna have to pay somebody. And then this way, the money's there and you have time to decide who you're gonna pay it to.
Right.
We are working on budgets.
Yes.
So, good idea. Okay, moving on, fire. I never said, we didn't do the fire panel, and I'm sorry.
It's okay. So I have a quote from J. King Electric. We need to replace the fire panel. 'Cause it's obsolete and it needs updating. I was told upon our last inspection. So J. King came out and gave us a quote for $38,588. I don't know if you wanna consider this for alternate funding.
Okay, board?
So that's not in this ARPA summary then?
Nope. No, it's not, but we have the emergency fund for
Mhm.
repair and replace.
And the emergency fund will cover that.
It should.
However, we need 200 pieces.
We do not have this in the capital plan. Otherwise, I would say, we could fund it that way.
Yeah, that could take like 3 years to fund, so that's nuts.
Exactly.
What was the quote for?
It's for the fire department. Ryan, is Cindy on? Okay, thank you. So board, what is your pleasure?
Well, this sounds like something that needs to be attended to right away. So it seems like we should be able to use the emergency capital
Seems like that's exactly what it's for.
it does have to get replaced.
Right.
You can take it out, but you've gotta budget it back in at some point also.
I don't know how that piece works. That would be next year's budget.
Or the one we're doing right now. Yeah, next
Yeah.
year's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the only quote we got?
That's from J. King, yes. I can get other quotes if you prefer. It's a starting point considering
Okay,
with the funding.
and the reason we're updating it is because it's out of date or it's been
Because
identified as a problem?
it's out of date and we just recently had it inspected, I wanna say probably about 3 months ago, wasn't that long ago. And I was told that it's gonna need to be replaced, preferably within the year, as all of our fire alarms come through that panel.
Replace old wiring. 50 to 70% of the wiring is out of date and non-complying. New panel. To bring it up to Vermont fire alarm code. That seems pretty
We can table it and I can try to get another quote,
Do you would?
but it's a starting point.
I'm good with it.
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing our town work.
So, would you like a motion?
I would like a
I'd like to make a motion that we spend $38,588 with J. King Electric for replacement and upgrade of our fire alarm system at the town.
From
From the emergency capital.
Oh, thank you, and funded from the emergency
Capital. What's in front?
Emergency Capital Reserve Fund. Thank you.
Is there a second?
second.
Is there discussion from anybody? All those in favor? Jim?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
I'm an aye. Motion carries. Building will be protected. Okay, town van.
I was asked to get some updated figures. I called Tony Nouveau from Patsy's Bus Sales in Concord, which is where our current bus comes from. And their increase is to $125,000. However, today they have a bus that's similar to what we're looking for 116 on their lot. I also contacted Steve at Masters Transportation, and their quote went from 126 to 136, or 138, or 140. He couldn't tell me which one. There's also, I heard on the news, a new bus company out of Canada that's gonna be setting up shop in Plattsburgh at the Nova plant. And it's called Microbird. So I called them, and they do not sell directly, but you can go to their dealer in Connecticut which is the nearest dealer. And I did place a call there, but didn't get a call back to see what theirs was going to be. But they used to be a company called Nova, but they're gonna be Microbird now. I heard that on the news, so I pursued it to see what it would be. But the cheapest one right now is to go with Patsy's Bus Sales, to look at the one that they have for $116,000. And I think we have 110 in our budget.
Should be 138, I think,
Yeah, I can't tell.
after this.
138,
Okay, so
383.
we have the money there. So we could look at theirs and see exactly what they have. He said that they will not be making a model in 2025 at Patsy's, but they will be making them in 2026. And of course, the cheapest one would be 123,000. So I can pursue exactly what this one that they have in stock for 116 is, if you'd like me to do that. And I would like it if one of you could come on a bus trip.
Okay.
And
Really working.
because
I have firsthand
it would be an
experience.
interesting ride for you to ride on the bus. We are very grateful to have the bus. But it does need shocks or something. Because you literally are like this in the bus over every little hump you go over. And, any questions?
Yeah.
Jim?
Dave, what kind of shape is that bus in? The current bus?
We gotta put the AC in, which is which we have, but other than that, and I believe, because it's, rubber bushings for suspension,
Mm.
so that's probably why it's writing, because of how old it is.
It really, I mean, I'm grateful to have the bus. And there are a lot, I happen to drive and have the money to afford to drive, so I can go wherever I wanna go. But there are many people who ride that bus that no longer drive, they've given up their licenses. And it's their only way that they get out and go and do things and see things. And they are really appreciative of it. Because I used to be very, very active, worked all my life, and then I retired. And by 9 o'clock in the morning, I sat there going, "Do-do-do-do-do-do." Everything was done. What will I do now? And I found the Vernon Seniors, and there are a lot of activities that we do right here at the town office. So it's not that we're going, but it's nice to be able to go. And we take trips to farms, we take trips to buildings, like up to the Capitol buildings, different places like that. We went to a place in New Hampshire. I can't remember what it is because my brain's at that age. But it was an older building, which like a mansion, and from a man that was a governor in New Hampshire. And it was really beautiful, and the property was beautiful. And the buds that were on the rhododendrons, I want to go back to see what they're going to look like in the spring because they're just magnificent. And it's nice to be able to go together. A lot of people are like me, they were married for years. I was married for 55 years and my husband died. And now I'm by myself. And even though I can go somewhere, I'm still sitting in the house by myself. And so for a lot of people, it's their only socialization. There are people that live in that high-rise building that hardly even know each other because they stay in their rooms. So it's an opportunity. Those people come on the bus and they just, the whole ride on the bus, and we go to dinner and luncheon and stuff like that, which we pay for. But we don't pay for the bus. We buy a bus ticket, but it's $2. It's not any big deal. So we are appreciative, and I don't know if you want me to look into this one, that's 116, or what do you want me to do?
What?
Is that a new one?
Yeah.
It is a new one?
Why is it only 116?
Because it's an older model, nobody's bought it.
Oh, a leftover,
Right.
then, that's the way to
What
go.
do you care? You know?
David?
The only question I would have is gonna have the seats for the kids, so if the rec wanted to use it?
That is part of the thing that we asked for, that it would have
Okay,
the seat belts and the seats that could be adjusted for the kids.
okay, I just didn't know if this would
And,
happen.
no, that was part of the
Okay,
original plan.
Yeah.
And that was something I would have to follow up with this particular one. The other ones would be constructed how we
Right,
wanted them
right,
to
how
be
you wanted it.
constructed.
I was just wondering that.
I don't
This
know.
one's built.
That's why I said I don't know about this one. I can
Okay.
check it out if you'd like me to check it out.
I think that
You can-
seems worth it,
Yeah.
to check into that, to see
Do you-
if it has everything
okay.
you want.
I'd personally be real comfortable if David commit himself or one of his people to go with you and kick the tires on that
Yeah,
thing.
because they're just over in Concord. It's not like,
Yeah.
you know.
Dave? That worked for you?
Mhm. That's where the other bus came, been over there a couple of
Right.
times.
Right.
I mean,
That would be good.
we were planning on replacing this bus a couple of years ago, right?
Right.
And we have the capital funding for it?
So we'll investigate it then.
Thank you very much.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
And thank you too, David. Okay, okay. Lawncare for the historian's budget. Do we know how much, what portion of the contract is for the, do we still know the museum? Do you know how much, what percentage
Have it all
is?
broken down.
Oh, cool. What is it? So we can,
When you want to do the cemetery budget, I will give you that information.
okay, we'll hold off to the cemetery budget. We have two other quotes here for, one is for remove, dispose, supply, and replace existing light fixtures here at the town office, and the same thing at the fire department. These are not on the agenda. I don't know if you want to address them tonight, or if you want to hold these for a later meeting.
I've been in several rooms in this building for meetings, and I'll tell you what, there's nothing more annoying than sitting there and a light behind you is flashing on and off, or the light in front of you is bright yellow, and the one behind you is like glaring. That can't be very expensive.
So I take it you want to address it tonight.
I'd like to.
Okay. We have about 13 non-working lights in the library.
Oh,
And
that's
today
all?
Today it seemed like there was even more. There was just a whole area like,
It's not.
now they're all
empty.
out.
And they're blinking, it's not empty.
Yeah, and, you know, it sounds like a big chunk of money, but when you talk about removing 150 existing drop-in style lights and surface lights, and
The last times we
You-
did this, your dad
The
was here.
library
wasn't he?
too, right?
He
And
went to
two
the whole
people.
building.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you.
So these have been here for a long time.
From what I
okay,
understand.
funding for
So
this
dark.
Capital plan,
capital
It's in the
funding
capital
for this.
plan.
Yeah, let's see. Is that the efficiency,
energy efficiency.
energy efficiency upgrades?
Yep.
Oh, we got plenty. So it's 102 supposedly. Yep. Let's see, AC's on the list.
We worked on that.
So, it's like 200,000 here, because we've been building for all these upgrades.
Well situated.
Yep.
Motion.
What?
I don't want anybody to think that I'm an easy touch on this, but I think this is another good one. We're spending a lot of money tonight, but I think,
We're taking care of the infrastructure, which
Yep.
is kind of important.
yes. I'd like to make a proposal that we spend $25,950 with King's Electric for replacement and disposal and of all the light structures here in the town hall.
Second.
Is there further discussion? Yes.
I'm just wondering if you did an energy efficiency study, how much money you would save by replacing the lights?
We've had two done.
We've
Had to do
done
that.
One
it.
is
Yeah.
just
Because I know that question's gonna come up.
Yep.
Yes,
I don't know
we
if I
applied
got
for a
it in
grant
my bag or
and
not.
in many towns we get turned down.
Yeah,
Oh.
this was all
Yeah.
gonna be hopefully covered in a grant, yeah.
We've been saving for
And the
all these
library tried for a
upgrades.
grant for our part of the building and got turned down, so.
All those in favor, Jim?
Aye.
Jean?
Aye,
I'm an aye. We're gonna get better lighting.
so we have to do another one for the fire
The
department.
fire department is in the same situation, right, sir? Much less money though.
And those, well, I guess they recently did the lights out in the bays, so that saved quite a few, so it's all the training room and downstairs, so.
Again, this is the same lighting structure we got. Okay.
56 lights, though. Does that sound like that would include the bays too? No,
That would be
doesn't.
downstairs,
Go
and
downstairs.
I would think, because if there's two or four for every fixture, that's
Oh,
kind of quick, yeah.
Yeah.
all right. My turn?
Your turn.
Yes, Jean.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve removing and replacing the lights at the fire department and spend $8,456 with J. King's Electric.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there further discussion?
Yeah, capital plan.
Capital plan.
Capital plan?
Did the others say capital plan?
We have it for the town hall. don't
I know, it says town.
I can take it from Martha. Do that too.
Why can't we just squeak it out of its mouth?
I know.
Because we can't.
We've been working on this for a long time.
There's nothing in there for the building. Unless you wanted to take it from upgrade fund, the smaller one, for under 10,000.
Upgrade fund?
The repair,
Oh, repair.
replace. Yeah, repair, replace, I'm sorry.
What is?
Because it's
I wanted to
further.
ask that question with the balances in that.
Yeah, there's two for expenses under 10,000. I think it's under 10,000. Do you know what that balance is? I didn't look at
Yeah, this is just from last year. Which one are you looking at?
that. I looked at the larger one for other expenses to see what we had available. But that's for larger expenses. There's a smaller one for, I think it's 10,000 and under.
Right. Is Is that fund that's just in the select board budget? Or is it a separate fund?
I don't think it's in the budget.
It's not
I
in
thought
there,
it was
it's not our.
separate.
This is chair.
General
Two people in the
expenses.
chair.
We have, contract, maintenance and repair. Got like 25,000. That's proposed 25,000. What's all the balances? We have, that's a little bit of that was,
Right,
but it's an even pair.
there's not a limit on that.
No, because
So
that's just
we could-
regular
we could do
budget
that.
stuff. It's just a regular budget.
Yeah. Where'd you get this? Oh my God, it's got the teeniest printing you could possibly.
I got it, it's in our packet. Oh, it's on the table.
That was the one I think I had printed off
You left it on
before.
there.
Yeah,
Yes, tonight, right?
yeah, that one I think was preliminary.
This one is?
Yeah.
I thought this was what was on the table tonight. No?
No, that one underneath.
Oh, this is the one. It was tonight. I guess this was from last week that we didn't use it, so I brought it again.
Yeah, it was from last week.
She's got one with regular size writing on it.
Oh my,
Instead of trying
what a shock.
All right, well, we'll look at this one.
Try to accommodate. It's hard to read.
Okay, so this still is. General expenses. So
Did you save going under repair?
we budgeted 26,400 this year. Now that was because we had contractors doing the lawn and shoveling, right?
No, that's contracted services. I think that's multiple things. Because if you look,
So we could use it for this.
I think we usually spend, let me see, contracted services. Is that under select board budget? Or is that the one under general? Yeah, it's under general expenses. It's contract maintenance and repair.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
Yeah, and we typically spend 20,000 out of that.
But that was
Every year.
because we were paying outside for the lawn and the shoveling. No.
No,
What is it then?
this is other contracts. So I'm not sure if that includes like Bill Vermouth. I think it's a combination because some of these lines are a few things rolled together.
No, that's good.
Okay, found the fund.
Because we had a maintenance fund kind of for the building, for those things that were under
Yes.
10,000.
And there was an article for that. It was funded through appropriation.
Just under building repairs / maintenance.
It's 6,000.
So, we're. So, we do have that building. That's not enough. And right now, for building repairs and maintenance, we have 5,500.
You could take it from that line, I mean, as long as you don't overspend the complete pot.
The whole section. Which it's just buildings and grounds in here.
So this is where you're gonna find it. Gene,
I found it in here.
under the appropriations is that fund.
What page are you on?
Roughly 28, this is the older, this is.
Oh, I get that far. Yeah, that's the
That's where the
one.
fund is.
So that it got all spent last year. We put Warrant. Got nothing. No balances.
Yes, oh, this- The, line. See if it's on
That's
there.
our script. I got the warning right here.
Should be on the other thing.
Okay. Yes, we voted in 10 grand for emergency repair and replacement fund. So right now, in our, this fiscal year, we have 10 grand. And I don't know if any's been spent.
Hmm.
We don't know. I'm gonna feel like it's not been, because I just don't recall approving
If it
anything
has,
like
we'll deal
that.
with it next time.
Okay.
Try to get a balance.
So, you make your motion.
Pardon?
Do you want to make your motion with it, where the money's coming from? Or no?
Oh, I thought you, I didn't know if you wanted to get a balance to be sure, or,
It's up to you. We can take this up next time. You can wait for a couple of weeks, can't you?
I think we can wait for
Thank you so
as long
much.
as it takes.
We will table this until the next
Table.
meeting.
Would they give you a deal if you did both at the same time?
They give us a deal all the time.
Nah.
They give us a
Good
deep
idea.
discount.
yeah, so we'll have to,
Okay,
I guess we just need to make sure.
we are now on to budgets. Fire department first. Hi, Alex.
How are you?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Not bad.
You guys are doing a great job.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Holding it together. So I guess just running down through, tried to keep everything as level funded as we could. The electricity bill, that's up 11% just to reflect the, what was spent out of that last fiscal year. 5% up on our dues and subscriptions. Those are our, that's our reporting software, that's our alert software for our phones, those types of things. So that's up 5%. Key mutual aid, those are up, that's up 3%. Those are our dispatching fees. And then the largest increase was the 50% increase on the travel reimbursements. I'm not sure what happened last year with the budget submittal, but for some reason the approved budget, the number got dropped down. It should have been in comparison to what we're proposing this year. And if we look at our 23-24 expenditures, that's in line with where it is. But other than that, those were the, so a 4% increase overall.
What? Questions?
So when they tear down that senior housing and make it 3 stories high, you got something that's gonna put out a fire on that 3rd floor?
No,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
we'll call in mutual aid for that.
Yep.
But that's all, I mean, they're gonna build that out of type 5 or fire resistant construction, so,
Mhm.
I mean, I haven't seen plans on it, I'm not too concerned about it at this point, but, I'd like to see it as it develops and hopefully at least get some eyes on the plans for it. But I think it's gonna be a good thing for the campus down there.
Any questions for him other than that?
Just a quick update, I had sent out an email a while ago about our assistant chief's position and Spencer stepping down. So effective the first of the year, Tim Alexander is gonna take the role of the assistant chief. Yeah. And so we're excited with that. I think it's gonna give us some opportunity to push some things along. And on the same token, we're working on trying to keep Spencer on board and shuffle him into a different role and keep him going with us. But we'll see what comes of that. But we're pretty excited. So
Great,
Excellent.
thank you very much.
yeah, no, thank you.
So the plans are on agency of natural resources.
Okay, cemetery.
Bulletin. It's in the running through construction law.
Oh, okay.
Just hang in on that at the end
Okay, so,
and then the next one.
so our caretaker contract that we approved is $34,000. And that breaks down to $8,700 for North Cemetery, $1,800 for Woodhead, $1,500 for Alexander Perry, $2,500 for South, $18,000 for Tyler, and $1,500 for South School. The only other change that I need is under repairs and maintenance. I need to add about $800 to that for trash pickup. As we
Is-
found, we were not included in municipal trash pickup, so we're having to pick
Isn't,
up trash.
isn't, the caretaker supposed to take care of the trash? No.
No, never has.
Okay. Okay.
It's never been in their contract just to set it out for collection.
Okay.
Even though it was surprising as they're town-owned properties that they weren't included in the town pickup.
As money warrant. His courtesy.
Okay. And Memorial Day supplies,
The same,
that,
imagine, yeah.
Push.
Just to consider, I don't know if price of flags will go up or stay the same, but in the $750, he found, we'll need to buy lime this year. He found there was enough lime left in the shed last year that he didn't need to buy any, so.
okay. All right, any questions from everyone? Okay, and we have our figure now for the
The,
museum.
can I just ask, you said about the trash pickup, so that's in addition to what we have here?
Right, because that was something I just found out after this, that it wasn't included.
Every department's taking care of their own. Okay.
It's still lower than it was last year.
What?
Your budget's still lower than last year. Very good. Thank you.
Okay.
And we have this figure for the museum. For the historians.
Okay.
Lawncare,
Here.
that was 1,500.
Yep.
How
I
much?
wrote it down.
1,500. That's what South School is. Okay, treasurer, she's not there. No, let's see what we have for the treasurer's office. We have no answers for questions. Okay, we move on to the library. That's the agenda. Let's do it.
Hello, I'm Julie Nevins. I know most of you know that. I'm here representing the library board. I don't think I have any comments on our budget. Our biggest increases were, of course, wages and insurances like everybody else. I think we tried to keep everything else pretty much as even keel as possible. Our library director and staff do a really great job of spending money efficiently and wisely. So we didn't have too many changes. But I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Gene, I'm sure you have some questions on it.
I think
Any-
it looks great.
Any of the lines that you see increase beyond the top is our contract increases that we don't really have much control over.
I think it looks great. Thank you
Great.
for your hard work.
Sure thing. Thanks so much.
Thank you. And for keeping her on. We do have an executive session. Is there anything else to come before this August 19th? The next meeting is January 7th. And we will know about the bus. And who's else? Thank you all for coming. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
All those in favor, Jim?
Aye.
Jim?
aye.
On the night, the motion carries. Undebatable. Thank you all for coming. Thank you.